Hi, my name is Jane Campbell, and today I would like to talk to you a little bit about assisted suicide. As death is not a widely conversed topic, but is one aspect that all humans experience. There are several ways that humans experience death, whether it be illness, accident, sudden death, or slow and painful. But because death can be slow and painful, we must consider physician assisted death as a viable option. When physicians assist with the process and sometimes hasten it, patients meet death on their own terms. When the necessary requirements are met, it is legal to seek physician assisted suicide in Canada, which allows patients the opportunity to die with dignity. Yet, the decision is difficult and requires further discussion and understanding to implement it well. Today, I would like to share with you just a couple of the general reasons about assisted suicide, such as Bill C-14, who is eligible, where is it legal, the right to freedom of choice, how patients like to choose to die with dignity, a sad story about Audrey Parker, and the different reasons why people seek assisted suicide around the world. Not everyone is eligible for the service of assisted dying, as there are multiple criteria that have to be met in order for the procedures to be seen through. Dying with Dignity Canada states to be eligible for medical assistance in dying, you must be eligible for government funding and health insurance in Canada, be 18 years of age or older, you must have a grievous and irremediable condition as defined in the Criminal Code. You must have made a voluntary request for MAD that was not as a result of external pressures. You must give informed consent to MAD after having been informed of the means that are available to relieve their suffering, including palliative care. These laws are in place to ensure the safety of all patients are up to standards before considering this procedure. Before entering this procedure, all patients must be medically sound and stable and be able to make their own decisions on their own terms. There are certain countries that allow assisted suicide, while others allow it under strict guidelines. Assisted suicide has been legal in all of Canada since June 2016, as Bill C-14 was passed. The first state of legalization in the States was in California on October 27, 1997. However, today it is only legal in 7 of the 50 states. It is an option given to individuals by the law and District of Columbia, Hawaii, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington, and it is an option given to individuals of Montana via court decision. In Canada, Bill C-14 states that not all doctors and nurse practitioners are obligated to administer or help with assisted dying, but all are required to refer those to a doctor who is willing to provide those services. As a part of the process, countries must also accurately record the instances where assisted death is happening. All countries that permit some form of assisted dying, public reporting is considered to be a critical component of providing transparency and fostering public trust in the applications of the law. Transparency is required to gain the trust and understanding of Canadians, as assisted death is debated among citizens. Bill C-14 is also very clear on how assisted death can legally take place. 1 allows the doctors or nurse practitioners to administer a lethal drug, and the other where the patient can self-administer the lethal drug. The law is new and will likely evolve as it applied to many circumstances surrounding death. There are many different reasons to want to seek help in dying, and pain is only one of the variables. For example, annual state reports in 2016, 90% of Oregon's patients seeking lethal drugs said they were doing so because they were less able to engage in activities making life enjoyable, and were losing anatomy. And 49% cited being a burden on a family, friend, or caregiver. And in Washington, 52% cited being a burden as a reason, while only 35% cited a concern about pain. Fundamentally, the argument should begin with, should individuals be given complete control over what happens to them? The right to freedom is a universal concept where all individuals make their own choices, and that right is protected by law. With this comes the question, do humans get the choice to decide whether or not they live or die? This is why a law is required. Humans need guidelines to adhere to when subjects are this debated because of religion and opinion. It is unfair to restrict a person's right to choose to live or die based on someone else's values. According to Dying with Dignity Canada, 84% of Canadians believe gravely ill patients should have the right to end their lives with help of a doctor. The patient's point of view can be seen in this statement. What I want is to be alive. I want to show aliveness. Merely having a pulse does not make it so. When the universe starts closing in around you, when you lose your sense of anatomy and vigor and aliveness, it should be your right to choose how you want to go. This story of Audrey Parker, a 57-year-old woman with breast cancer that had spread throughout her body, felt forced into assisted death 6 months before she had intended to. Parker's lost battle for greater autonomy in medical assisted death has reignited a debate over Canada's legislation on medical assisted death, which critics say forces terminally ill people to choose two equally unpalatable choices: a death that is premature or one that is painful. Parker wished for a beautiful death, where she chose a time after enjoying Christmas with her family, was not to happen because she was afraid of losing the option as she got sicker. Overall, Bill C-14 was made in order to simplify complicated situations so that humans can apply rules to benefit society as a whole. There will always be exceptions to these rules in situations where people can create reasons that are wrong, but the benefits outweigh these exceptions. Humans deserve the right to end their pain and suffering in a legal and humane way. As easy as it may seem, from a societal standpoint, to give these rights, the religious rights and freedom may also have to be considered in this difficult conversation.